That's caught by the tight end, Harrison Bryant. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. 16 yards on the game's first play and a quick first down.
That was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver. Although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Watson now to throw. And this one almost intercepted. Not a good throw there. Nearly an opening drive, INT. The Browns at 3-1 here through their first 4 games. And they're hitting their stride of late. Winners of 3 of their last 4.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 45-yard line. Well, the first drive here and the first time that we've called a big tight end's name, but I can assure you this, Charles, it won't be the last.
No, it won't, because when he gets going, now it opens up opportunities on the perimeter because that'll draw the defense towards him in the middle of the field. Now your wide receivers are getting involved as this game goes on.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
They'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss. To throw is Watson. And that is incomplete. Well, this defense for the Seahawks, they were terrific last week in the win over the Rams.
And while you can't actually see confidence rising in a unit, you feel like you can. And when you look at this team, you definitely think that it is because anytime you can tell your offense, just get us a couple of touchdowns, we got this thing locked down, that's when you know you're playing well.
And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line. You got to like what you're seeing from this offense here on the first drive. A nice, sustained series to begin the game, and will continue after picking up another first there.
Would you say the word methodical comes to mind? I love the execution. I love what they're doing on this drive. They're controlling the ball.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Nick Chubb, his 7th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Browns get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Looking sharp on that first drive. These guys, of course, coming off back-to-back victories. And you see that kind of advancing into this game, don't you?
You certainly do. And when you have a team that doesn't get too full of itself, even though they've won 2 games in a row, you get the end result that we saw there. That nice opening drive because they're sharp, they're focused, and they're locked into everything that they're doing.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. They'll run with Walker to begin the drive. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Now Geno. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Nice job there forcing that incompletion. This is going to be a fun battle throughout this game. Watching him try to take away that area of the field.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. A shotgun snap for Smith. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Martin Emerson. And the Browns are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. The Cleveland offense ready to go. They start near midfield following the interception as they begin 1st and 10. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. Room here to run. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 53 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. Well, they're making a real first-quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old-school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they've got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you said, establish the run game, and they've been successful doing it.
And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8. 8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. They run it again with Chubb. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives them a 1st and goal. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
Quick throw completed by Watson. 5 yards that time on the completion. And now it's 3rd and goal. If you're these receivers, you got to be ready, because when he's going to throw it quick on that RPO, he's going to throw it quick.
And this is why you spend time with your guy either in the offseason, during the week, the whole bundle. Because sometimes it's just telepathy. You both see the same thing. And
touchdown, Browns! David Njoku, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys are able to extend their lead. Looking to maybe throw for it here, Watson. That is caught. He's got it. And the lead will move to 14-0. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And Charles, it's kind of gut check time. Look, I know it's early, first quarter, just their 2nd drive of the game, but they've already thrown the interception, given up the score. You're down double digits. They got to figure out something, and pretty quickly here. No doubt about it. And when we look at that sideline, I'm sure you're observing the same thing I am. I don't like the body language at all. They look like they're in a state of stunned disbelief. So to me, we always talk about someone stepping up and making a big play. I think it would behoove them if multiple guys step up and make big plays right now. They need something positive to happen, and they need for it to happen now. And he powers his way up past the 30. Calling a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4. I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt. Smith. That's complete to DK Metcalf. And he is going to have a Seahawks 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. And that's how you shake off the interception you threw on the opening drive, come back and throw another strike and gain nice yardage. And I give credit to 2 people on this one. The man throwing the ball and the person calling the plays. They're not shutting him down early in this game. They'll fake the handoff. Now Smith. And that one off the mark behind him. Incomplete. Tyler Lockett was the target there. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw. Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say? Great defense. And darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing. On 2nd down, it's Walker. And a good pickup there. He gets about 6 up to midfield.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. From the 50, it's Smith. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Browns defense has a touchdown. Charles, it is pretty rare that we see a team build this kind of lead in the opening quarter. And, man, they seem to be clicking on all 3 phases right there. The defense doing its part with a pick 6.
And it's absolutely been the definition of a start that you would pick for yourself and for your team, right? And I have a feeling that they just want to stay in this zone. What's truly incredible about this start is they can add on a couple more scores. This one could legitimately be over in the second quarter.
And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. If they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14. Out of the gun, Walker with it. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26.
If you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
The Seahawks on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Grant Delpit, and the Browns are going to take possession of the football. Well, I'm not sure that the wheels, Charles, are coming completely off, but they're shaking a little bit. That's 3 interceptions, and now interceptions here on back-to-back drives.
Now, think about what a Hall of Fame coach told me that he always told his teams, when a mistake happens, just move on to the next play. Let it go. Hard to do when you've thrown this many interceptions. That's exactly the attitude that has to be adopted.
2nd down, Gaskin. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. A good play there as the Browns strike for 16 and a 1st down.
Not too shabby for his first carry of the game. That's exactly what most teams are looking for. A really good change of pace back.
On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. Cody Barton there to bring him down.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
They'll try the air now with Watson. Njoku pulls this one in. He's got it for a Cleveland touchdown. A great play there with a 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Browns are able to widen their lead here in this first half. The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And a rout is on here in this first half. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. Taking it about the 1. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
But one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
And this is incomplete. Oh, it looked like he had a pretty good line on that one. That would have been a big play, but he could not pull it in.
Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better, got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Ready. Throwing on third down, Smith. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Calling a loss of 4 there on the sack. And speaking of the number 4, it brings up fourth down now. On fourth down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. That's taken it around the 40. It'll be a 39-yard punt, 4 on the return, and the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. The Browns drive about to get started. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him, because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, are you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll run it here on the jet sweep, and they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. But defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the second quarter.
And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
And his kick here is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So everything else has gone right in this first half. Kind of follows it in room for their kicker, too, as he adds 3 more onto the lead.
Yeah, and the way that this one's gone, definitely not looking like he's going to have to worry too much about pressure kicks late in the game. He can go out there free and easy, just work on his form, and he knocked that one through.
And they'll be backed up to start this drive as he's taken down right around the 15. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. It hasn't gone particularly well for them, that's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
On 2nd and 11 now. Smith. He's got a man. That's caught. Left sideline. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Throwing now is Geno. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Daquan Jones busting through to get him for a loss of 6. This offense continues to shoot themselves in the foot. And here, another sack.
All game long, we've seen missed assignments, which have led to turnovers, sacks. This group has not played well at all here in the first half.
It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down. Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, it's out. Smith lost it. Offensively lucky they're able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot him away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
Here's Michael Dixon now to punt. So the hand got inside the face mask that time. Looked like a pretty easy call.
And it was, and we saw this in their loss last week. Penalties at inopportune times that led to their demise.
A give running right is Chubb. And defensive back Jamal Adams in on the stop. So we have reached halftime here in Cleveland with the Browns on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And he will not bring it out. It's a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. We'll see, Charles, if they had a chance to hit the reset button at halftime. They have not scored. They're facing this big deficit. And if they're going to come back, it's going to have to start right now.
Yeah, and for them, it's not dwelling in the negative because, yes, they were totally ineffective in the first half. But we've seen many games that have flipped around in the second half. It all starts with this drive right here. They get something good going, put some points on the board, they begin to have hope.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32. Well, this defense, they've got the 4-score advantage, and you can see why they continue to bottle up the run game. And really, they've just been sharp in all facets here in this one, CD.
Yeah, they've kept that offense in check the entire game. And I think it's been led by what you just talked about, that defensive front, which has not allowed them to run the football and establish control of the line of scrimmage.
No chance to get away there for Smith as he goes down. Tony Field with a big-time sack on 3rd down. It's a loss of 7. And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away. So this punt sails out of bounds across midfield. Now the question, they're going to spot it right at the 40, the 40-yard line. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And it's hard to imagine that the first half could have gone any better for them. So what's the approach here in the second half?
Just continue to play smart football because they got the other team down and they feel good about the position they're in. The obvious thing people would say is just keep attacking, but I think you also have to be smart about it. Avoid turnovers. That's about the only thing that can derail you at this point. Attack, but make sure you take care of the ball.
Gaskin will try it up the middle. And a pretty good burst there as he'll get this across midfield and down to the 46. That's good for a Cleveland first down, an 11-yard pickup.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
From the gun, it's a give to Chubb. And he's got some space here. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland.
I know I should keep the focus and the spotlight on the hero that just scored, but tackling's been an issue for this defense all game long. I can't set that aside. We just saw it again here. Missed tackles leads to his long touchdown run.
No problem there on the extra point, and the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter.
He's got a man complete. It's a big play there for Seattle. And even 40 yards. You need a big play? Go to your big play guy.
Listen, that's football 101. When you have to have it, you expect that guy to step up. A lot of people call these receivers divas. Sometimes just leadership when they get in the huddle and say,
nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah coming in for that outside linebacker spot, and he buries him for a loss of 7. From the gun, it's Walker. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a third and long situation coming up. Ready. Now maybe a free play here for Smith. Oh, into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Picked off by Martin Emerson. And the Seahawks will take over possession here up at the 44. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
And the penalty helps, but not a whole lot. It's still third and long. Geno now to throw. Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
Well, partner, given where that drive started, that's an excellent job defensively to force them into fourth down.
On comes the Seahawk kicker here on fourth down. It's Jason Myers. It'll be a 49-yard attempt from the left hash. And that is no good. And they will remain well behind.
Partner, this is certainly turning out to be one of those days. Here we are in the second half. They're being shut out. Offense is doing nothing. And you're just saying, please, come on, give us something here to your kicker. But even this is no good.
And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Third quarter action. Appreciate you joining us from Cleveland, Ohio. 2nd and 10. And again, it's Chubb. He'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. And while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
Throwing on third down, Watson. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's fourth down. The Browns send out their punter now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the third. Now it's Lockett. It's a return of 4 following a 42-yard punt. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
In every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 15. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we've played 3 quarters. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Third down now, and those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. That's been a blowout that's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops from one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Let's take it inside his own 40. We'll call that a 43-yard punt, 2 on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
The Browns drive about to get started.
You just kind of feel for the defense right now. This deficit, they have not been able to stop them the entire game, Charles. And some hands on hips, some long faces out there on the defensive side. Oh, they're like, oh my gosh, we got to face these guys again here.
Yeah, people don't understand how hard it is when you're on the side that's being dominated to keep your head up and continue to play hard. And that's what they're going through right now, trying to find that pride inside of them to allow them to continue to fight, even though they are down huge in this game.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. They go up the middle with Chubb. And a hard-working run here as he's got it inside the 20, down to the 17. Boy, 199 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ballgame. Up the middle, it's Chubb. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
And he's able to get more than half of what they needed. That brings up a 3rd and 5.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
On 3rd down, Knight.
And he's able to break out of 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down.
Just a yard on the run there. That's going to bring us to a 4th down. So now the Browns will turn it over to their field goal unit here. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And this one is right through. And that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead. In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Let's go now.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but
He's got a man complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. An excellent pickup of 34 yards. The big play has them all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. Throwing is Smith.
returning right back to Lockett. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now. Down at the 33.
And he is going to be taken down. They got him. As that is going to take us to the 2-minute warning.
To try again after the sack. Smith. And his throw here is incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, here's Smith. And he finds a man on a crossing route. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
Well, a touchdown here on this drive, it wouldn't really put much of a dent in the score, the deficit right now, but as you mentioned in the past, CD, their coach is probably just hoping to see something executed correctly on this drive before we close out the ballgame.
Yeah, and I think that every guy who's on the field has to feel exactly the same way, because if not, they might be looking for replacements. Treat every drive as if it's your last and make it a successful one in some small way.
And he's going to go down. He's sacked back in the 24. Now a tough spot for Geno Smith and company after the sack. It's 3rd and long. Now here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
Desperation time for Smith on 4th down. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and this Browns defense stands tall. The Cleveland offense ready to go. They're looking at a 3rd straight win here if they can hold on. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down.
215 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
All up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll go left side on the ground with Chubb.
To about the 40-yard line.
Credit the tackle there to Uchenna Nwosu. So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was that they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for the Browns, they boost their record up to a strong 4-1.